It'd be like a 50 cal traveling 5 times faster than a 50 cal.
So
it's not good, and we need less space litter.
Less
and
space.
If the Russians
are
the ones causing all of it, then we need to get them in line with their space litter.
There's the litter concentration, so more space would do too.
That's what Space
Force check on the Chinese also. We learned the other day how they do plastic in the ocean. I bet they're fucking ruining the skies.
They are. Did you know that? So China did a huge proportion of the space debris out there is from one Chinese test.
Of course.
And the test was, can we destroy a satellite? So rather than do it some responsible way where they put it in the like low Earth orbit and they made sure everything would fall to the ground, they put it way up high, they blew it up, and it's all still out there but scattered about.
What a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Like, they knew what was going to happen. They were already in space. Like, they knew the consequences of it falling apart in space.
You know,
if you're good enough to hit a satellite out of space, you're smart enough to know it'll make a mess.
Yeah. I don't buy that lapse in judgment.
I bet if someone wanted someone like India or China or Russia that has the rockets or whatever.
It doesn't support what I said.
Could they ruin space? Could they launch like lots of missiles into space with ball bearings, like huge amounts of ball bearings, and like ruin space effectively for
That's a really good question. Because my knee-jerk reaction was no, space is too big. And then I was like, well, I mean, if they were trying, they could really make it suck, right?
Here's the other thing, and I don't know.
They're definitely good.
So there was initially this idea that, hey, man, y'all are using those Saturn V rockets or whatever they're using to launch these satellites. It's incredibly expensive. Every pound you put up there is costing you like $20,000. Why not a big cannon? Why not a big cannon to blast them into space?
Yes.
We're gonna need some durable satellites, but
isn't there one where it flings them into space? That one's pretty cool. Or at least
like
they're testing it.
That'd be fun.
So that's more of a that like space trebuchet idea where like I've seen like simulations of it operating in space, like this arm that's
catch up.
But it involves like bringing your space. You have these big rotating arms with mass on one end that orbit the Earth, and they're rotating at very high speeds. And you bring your spaceship along. You attach to the long arm, and you're flung by that to your destination. It's a tremendous amount of energy for free, you know, in that escape velocity.
That's cool.
But the cannon for the satellites was built into the side of a hill because the barrel was so long you couldn't just have the barrel in the air. It had to be built underground to support the mass of it. But while that turned out not to maybe work for satellites and their sensitive inner workings, if you were just shooting like capsules full of ball bearings that would then release and explode into like the upper atmosphere, like, or into space, whatever, so they would stay up there for a while, like, would you just ruin this space travel for every other developed nation?
Just put the ball bearings over Russia. I don't see what could go wrong.
They're gonna go everywhere, Woody. You ever see a snow globe? Snow globe, Woody.
How would you fix that? Just complete area denial for wherever you wanted it to be.
You have to send up a
if you're
series
India,
of nets.
Here's the thing, though. I can't imagine anyone doing that because the world enjoys the wonders of GPS, and they have for the last 40 or 50 years or whatever it's been. Isn't it amazing that we just made that shit free? And it's like, hey, world, would you like to always know where you are? America's your guiding light. And we didn't put the stars and stripes on it. We didn't put USA on everything that says GPS. We should have called it USA, not GPS. But hey, how did that happen? This is
Russia has one
cure
too?
for polio.
Yeah. I mean, what sort of information can we gain?
Of course, I would imagine so. I have some kind of backup, or you're kind of in a big.
My watch lets me choose whether I want to use just the American ones or the American and the Russian ones. Like, do you want to use these extra satellites?
How do you feel about the quality of service between the two?
Yeah.
If
I don't know. I can't tell. I just add more satellites to the watch and it still takes forever. I'm not sure.
So, like, is it possible that you could like set it up and you'd be like, wow, Russia's getting me to the store a little quicker today. Step it up. Russia's just like ways.
I'm fascinated by your watch technology now. So what can your watch do?
So it has GPS in it, and it can like leave breadcrumbs on the map to where you went and perhaps get you back.
Brilliant.
It uses the GPS to set the altitude because the altitude is based on the barometer. So as the air pressure goes up and down, the watch can't know that you're not going up and down. You have to tell it right
Where you
now
are.
at this I'm at 300. And then for the next few hours, it'll be pretty accurate. But in 3 days, it'll be kind of inaccurate.
Yours doesn't have the barometer in it. Oh,
It does. No, but
It does.
Yeah, of course it does. You need a barometer to have an
course.
altimeter, but you have
Dumbass.
to tell it like like right now, radio Thursday at 8
Yours
p.m.
doesn't use lidar.
Thursday at 8 p.m. This is what 300. This is the pressure you find at 300 feet above sea level, and then tomorrow it'll be like, well, now this is the pressure to above 300 feet above sea level.
I love the breadcrumb thing.
But the GPS can set it. So in case you don't know your current altitude where you're standing, the GPS will tell
that
you.
for you.
Yeah.
I guess can you guide yourself out of the wilderness with it? Would it be like, obviously you've got a compass inside of it, I'm sure. I mean, everything's a compass, it seems like. But like, does it have any guidance abilities? Would the arrow just could you be like, take me home, and the arrow always points toward home on your watch, so you could just use it that way? Because that would be enough for me.
That, yeah. Which is useful on a paramotor. I don't have the vision.
I'm liking that watch.
I don't have the vision to really like look at a map. And also I'm flying. I'm literally flying a lawn chair. So like I'm kind of busy right now to stare at the watch for too long. And so anyway, it's really handy to.
What's the price tag on one of those? Is it about 1,400?
No.
Higher?
So this was this is a good one. It had the sapphire lens and the stealth black, whatever, and it was like 500.
Really? That's what my Luminox costs. You know what it does? It glows in the fucking dark and it's waterproof.
with real radium. Yeah.
Holy! I don't think they use the real radium anymore.
No, they don't.
I've been in like
your wrist hurt.
all of the old Russian like armored troop carriers that I've been in, and like mobile artillery pieces and all that. They use radium for the gauges on the inside. Like they glow well. When you get in there, it's like a sci-fi movie. First of all, your eyes adjust to the darkness because now you're inside this thing. But all the gauges are this pretty like green color.
I'm sure you do. Like this seems like the kind of YouTube video we both watch. Like the history of the women who used to work in watch factories. So basically, they used to paint radium on watch hands manually. And women were sitting in these warehouses. And if you don't know, radium is more radioactive than uranium. It's unbelievably radioactive. And so they would like use their tongue to straighten out the tip of their paintbrush all day for years. And like all of them died of like their jaws falling off and like
all their
cancer,
husbands all their husbands got prostate cancer. It was a real mystery.
Yeah. Penis cancer. Aggressive penis cancer.
Suck the life out of me.
And just like back then,
this one guy got
radium
anus
eating
cancer.
whore.
Who's the lucky dick who got anus cancer?
Yeah.
It just made mine enormous like the Hulk.
Like, no, it didn't. You're dying.
I want that Marvel superhero. That's how he got his powers.
It's Leukemia Man. He can summon pity in a single bound. In a single fall.
Did they phase it out? Or is it what do they use now? Because if you've written in older machines, like at what point did they realize this is really not good?
It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Russians still use radium. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we use radium. But the only reason I would imagine we wouldn't is because we just spend more money and do things like heads-up displays. And I know the helmet it's either the helmet for the F-22 pilots or the F-35 pilots. It's like $250,000. The helmet is. This thing is like crafted to fit you. This is your personal handcrafted like super duper cutting edge piece of technology with all sorts of heads up shit. When you're turning your head, it's got all sorts of actuators and sensors inside of it. I think there's tactic feedback. Is that what I'm looking for? Haptic.
Oh, doesn't it give you a full 360? Like you can look down and you can see through the
cockpit.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
Fuselage.
Yeah,
I want to see a demo of that. Like that.
Yeah.
It seems scary.
I bet that tech could be integrated into anything though. Like if you just wanted that, you don't need all the other nonsense. That sounds like a $1,200 piece of equipment. That sounds like something that's like, yeah, I put this on and now